Welcome to episode 26 of An Earful Podcast. On this episode, we interview Jared Leto. Scott Findlay, sorry. Sorry, Scott. He is the tour engineer and guitar tech. We talk about how he got his start in the industry, problems he might have faced on tour as a techie as well, and a few funny stories around there. We also talk about pet peeves as well, our usual pet peeve section, and horror movies, but maybe not so horror movies this time.
With a twist.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a tiny bit. Massive thank you to Grant Berry for the quite fancy room we're in currently where we did this interview. I'm definitely not going to get used to it. It is pretty damn good. Do you know what's also really good?
Go on.
The new Mcvey album, which is...
Have you listened to that?
Yeah, it's a bop.
Yeah,
the number one album, that is Fall Better by Mcvey. And do you know where you can find Mcvey? At Burn It Down Festival 2020. And do you know who else is going to be there? Us.
Well, at least we didn't drag that out this time.
No, we didn't drag that out this time.
Who's going to be there?
Oh, I wonder who. No, we, An Earful Podcast, are going to be at Burn It Down 2020, hopefully speaking to some of your favourite bands. And thank you to the lovely Burn It Down Festival for giving us the opportunity to give a promo code to our listeners. You can now receive 20% off your ticket if you type in the promo code An Earful Podcast at the checkout.
Ka-ching.
So go and check out some damn good music for cheaper.
And make sure you share it with us if you've got your ticket. You can share it with us on all our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tinder, Grindr, Field. Tell us about it. While you're doing that, give me some gratification in life. Leave a comment, a like. And if you didn't know, if you can't read or you're blind, this is episode 26. That means there's 25 other episodes for you to go listen to. So why not go through them all? Hit subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. Leave a review. Make me feel good about myself.
Give Matt a match on Grindr.
Give me a match. I'm free every Thursday evening. Usually for podcasting, but I'll make exceptions.
If you like the podcast, share it. If you didn't, share it with someone and tell you how much you hate it, and then hopefully they'll like it and then they'll share it.
Yeah. Love us.
Or hate us.
Oh, okay, right. Anyway,
Well,
enjoy.
Oh, yeah, we're going. Okay.
Enjoy that episode. Bye.
Bye.
Greetings and welcome to Happy Podcast.
The most casual opening to
Nice, I like
It is,
it. I
honestly,
like
It's
it.
pretty chill.
You alright, mate?
Yeah, I'm alright. How are you?
Not bad.
Good.
So on this episode, we have Scott Findlay,
Hiya.
who is a guitar tech / roadie. So we're going to have an interesting chat with him today.
I don't know about that.
Well, we'll see how it goes. So where do you want to start?
From the beginning.
Let's go from the beginning.
From the beginning.
How did you get your start into the industry?
A long time ago, I was probably about, I don't know, I must have been about 15, 16, I reckon. I started working for my mate's band who were touring nationally. So we go away and do gigs in London and stuff in little bars like the Purple Turtle in Camden and places like that. And yeah, it was I just started setting up his drums for him, really. I'd go back to school and miss a lot of school in the process. I remember once, maybe, I think my A-level music tech coursework was due to be handed in, and I handed it in the morning, and by lunchtime I'd gone to London to do a gig. But what I didn't realise is I had music tech's sixth lesson, and we were meant to be going through it before we submitted it, but I was like already in London by that point. I never wanted to be like at school, really. So crewing and
It paid off.
stuff to do with music was all stuff that I wanted to do, even like with music technology and stuff. Although kids should definitely stay in school. Definitely. But
stay in school, kids.
Yeah, I started doing it pretty young. And then from that, the bands that I was working for did festivals with other bands, and my name sort of got out about a bit if people needed someone that knew what they were doing, sort of, in crewing and stuff. So I got asked to do other bands off that, and it sort of spiralled and snowballed into me doing other bands, and now I've been doing it, I don't know, a fair while. I think I did a job in a bar for a little bit. I ended up being bar manager in like a hotel, but I quit that in, I don't know, I can't even remember when that was. But I reckon I've been doing it as like a full-time job for maybe 11 or 12 years.
Jesus.
So
That's insane.
it's not bad to that.
That's the dream.
It is the dream.
Yeah.
What was the first band that you did?
So I started working for a glam rock band called Kid Ego from York. That was the first band I ever crewed for, and then from there I went on to do a band called Hurricane Party. Although I think by the time I worked for them, they were called Roadstar, which then became on to be Heaven's Basement after that.
Oh, cool.
Ah, sick.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
that was a while ago, but
Didn't you catch them back in the early days as well?
Yeah. So I caught them back in 2009 when they toured with Dear Superstar.
all right, yeah.
Yeah.
I worked for them as well.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
And
Good mates of
then
mine.
I remember we saw when they supported Hailstorm.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they
Alright,
did
yeah.
the lineup change and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I remember going to her and, I saw you years ago. And he was like, oh, that's great. I went in the band at that point.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. I remember Heaven's Basement had a bass player, original bass player called Rob,
Yeah.
and he left, but luckily they replaced him with another guy called Rob because quite a lot of the fans had tattoos.
Oh my god.
That wasn't the reason they got
So
Rob
the,
in the
so
band.
the ad
but-
that they had was just specifically,
It was
we're
just
looking
like,
for a bass
thank
player
God for
called
that.
Rob.
Yeah.
That was our memo for the podcast. Must be called Matt.
Yeah.
Really?
It's just very unfortunate that all of us are
Yeah.
called Matt.
Yeah, I mean it's handy though, isn't it?
Mm.
It is, but then at the same time, when you're actually like introducing yourself to like bands and people and stuff like that, and then you shake your hands, you go, "Hi, I'm Matt," and then the next one goes, "Hello, I'm Matt,"
That's
and the next one is,
joke.
"Hi, I'm Matt," and they're
Have
like, "Are you taking the piss?"
Have you ever interviewed anyone called Matt?
Yes, we did.
Really?
Last
Yeah.
podcast, we had someone called Matt. We interviewed Junior.
Yeah, Matt and
It's
Simon
like-
from Junior.
Right.
And anytime Simon went, yeah, like what Matt said, I was like, did I? I don't remember saying that. I didn't. That's why. Yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah, Evan's Basement was cool. They were
Yeah, they were good
their
bands.
first album was so good.
Yeah. I look at bands that I've sent to my wife the other day. I was looking at bands that I can't tour with now that were doing similar scenes. Like I've been working for Don Broco for a bit,
Yeah.
and I remember doing Heaven's Basement's last headline tour. We were doing venues like where was the London show now? I can't remember. It was did we do Academy 2 in Manchester? I think.
Academy
Yeah.
too,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we did Electric Ballroom in Camden. That was it. And when we were on that tour, Don Broco were on a similar run of gigs.
Right.
And every venue we went to, there was a Broco poster in the
Yeah.
venue. And like last year, I just did Wembley Arena with Don Broco. So
That's
I always
insane.
think
That's
like,
insane.
can you imagine if Basement had just carried on going, like where they'd
Yeah,
be?
yeah,
Like,
no.
Yeah.
it's always a bit of a what if thing for me. That.
Did
But-
you go overseas as well?
Yeah, we
with
spent a lot of
Basement?
time in America with
Yeah.
Basement. I think.
What was the reason Aaron left the band? Because it was that long ago. No, I can't actually remember where it all kind of went wrong with it.
I think they musically they just wanted different things. I
Yeah.
think. So like, I think it was. I think it got to a point where they would have carried on if they would have been able to, but
Yeah.
they just wanted totally different things out
Yeah.
of stuff. So it just had to come to an end, which is just sad. It was a really good point in my life touring with them, and they were all my mates. So when looking back, it would have been interesting to see what would have happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But maybe it's rose tinted glasses. I don't know.
that album was full of bangers.
Yeah,
That
it
first
was.
album
Yeah,
was
yeah.
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've started like Cruel Knives, haven't they? Now who are
Yeah.
supporting.
They're supporting Danny
Yeah.
Warsnop on his headline tour pretty
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
And then Aaron Buchanan, the Cult Classics as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not sure what they're doing at the minute. We're maybe
think
speaking with
Aaron-
Aaron soon, aren't we?
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
do. I think he's moved to Australia.
We didn't know that
Last I
because
heard.
we had this conversation.
I messaged him and he was
Tried to
like,
organise
because I
this.
don't know why, I just had this thing thinking like, oh, they're all from Manchester. And like, I
You're right,
messaged
yeah,
him.
yeah. It's only
I was like,
Rivers from Manchester.
Yeah, and he went, you do know I'm in Australia? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Staying
So
up
Skype
late
it
for
is.
that one.
Yeah.
So
I
that'll be
imagine
interesting.
you've seen that with a lot of bands, though, the potential of them coming up and then they've
Yeah.
stopped for whatever
Yeah.
the reasons are.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. I used to work for a band called Glamour of the Kill as well.
Oh, yeah,
from York. Yeah, metalcore band. they got ridiculous. The playing capabilities were insane. I remember the guitarist Mike just used to. He probably made 2 wrong notes a gig, and he just laugh at himself. And it got to the point where they'd change the lyrics during gigs to be about like each other's mums and stuff, just because they knew the tunes that well that it was just something else to do. Like they'd go and rehearse for like a month, 5 days a week before a tour, and like I remember once going in to do pre-production the day before we went away, and I was like, Jesus, like you lads sound tight. And they're like, yeah, we've been in here for a month, 5 days a week. That's why we sound so tight. Like, oh, okay, but like it got stupid where like they were that tight that they just start taking the piss out of each other's mums because it was something to do. Then you had to play the songs like note for note. Yeah, it was insane. That like they call actually they've started coming back and doing some other shows. I think
the same
as Glamour, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, how many hours would you have to do per day to like be that tight as a band?
Well, yeah, exactly.
10,000
But I
That's
mean,
insane.
I think a lot of it.
Yeah, we're too lazy for that shit.
I think a lot of their rehearsal sessions were doing like 2 runs of the set through and then going to the pub.
Yeah.
I think by the end of the month it became like how long until we can get for a pint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
How quick can you get through this set? I want to drink.
exactly, yeah, exactly.
It's a good goal to work towards anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything's motivation, it's at the end of the set, you can have a pint.
There you go.
Not hobgoblin, though. We've learned
We should do that in the Olympics. Just put a pint at the end of like the 100-metre line.
Can you imagine how many
Finish this
people
relay.
would do it
Pretty
then?
quick,
though?
I reckon.
It's a good advert, that. Just Foster's at the end.
If Australia did like competitions,
There you go.
just
You need to sell that
Foster-
idea.
Yeah, we'll pitch it.
Yeah.
Like
Foster's
courtesy of
email
the
is.
podcast. So how long have you been touring with Don Broco then?
I've done 1 tour and then I did some festivals last summer. So I did like I missed out all the sort of hardship slogging in a van and
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
straight in at arenas.
Went right in at the
Yeah,
top.
totally. Like, but yes, I did that and then. So yeah, I think that they did like 2 Manchester-wise. They did 2 nights at Victoria Warehouse,
Yeah.
and then a few like Wembley Arena and stuff. And then last summer we did a little run of festivals where we did Kendall Calling and
Yeah.
I can't remember what else we did on that. There were a few sort of smaller capacity festivals.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were decent.
When that shift from arenas to festivals, does it change what you do?
Yeah,
your
quite a lot to be
approach to
honest.
it,
Quite a
yeah.
lot. There's a lot, especially during the gig. You know, there was parts where I'm changing patches for the guitarist, so because he'll be up on a piece of staging and he can't get to his pedal board.
Yeah, of course.
Or you know, the length of the set changes what guitars we use. Yeah, stuff like that. How long the set changes, how long he's played a guitar for. So guitars need restringing less.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, or even stuff like we can't load in until 2 hours before the gig. So do I really want to restring a guitar that's done maybe 8 songs?
Yeah.
If I can get away with him playing it for another 2, probably not. I'll just leave that for a bit. And he's playing like really thick strings because he's down tuned anyway. So he's not. There's
So
no.
how does it work with Sai? Because I know that obviously he transposes via his Kemper.
Yeah. To be honest, he was only doing that on. In fact, did we? I don't think we ended up doing that. He's not doing that at all anymore.
Oh right.
Yeah. So we did do that. We tried to do that on one song, and I think it was just because he wanted to play a different guitar, and
Yeah.
it wasn't in the right tuning. So we thought,
Right.
bugger it, we'll just try and do it on the Kemper. But yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
I think maybe they used to do that.
Yeah.
And
I
then
remember when they had the what demonstration? It was a demonstration for something. I think it was for the new PRS
right,
line on it.
yeah,
And he was discussing how he like transposes between like parts of the songs and stuff like that. I'm trying to think. I think it was the technology
right, yeah,
or something like that.
yeah,
I think that's where we saw it from. And then me and then the older guitarist of our band was like, because he had a Kemper, he was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I can just transpose my Telecaster into drop
yeah,
B
yeah.
now and stuff like
It's
that.
insane. Like, I think we started messing around with it, and I think that we took it to the maximum, and like the maximum we can go down, I think is like 15 semitones or something. Like only dogs are reacting to that. It sounds absolutely ridiculous, but yeah,
there's just dogs in the radius of the venue, just like going ape shit.
we did that on. I did Lower Than Atlantis for a little bit.
Yeah,
and the whole LTA set was all to do with that.
Oh, they running through Kempers?
I don't think so. Oh, did you say?
No,
I thought you said. Have they got any free Kempers?
No. Obviously, I was running through Kempers.
Oh yeah.
Never know.
Yeah, the whole thing. We had a Kemper tower.
Oh shit.
So yeah, it was all staged right with me.
That's sick.
Big old tower of Kempers.
I mean, if they've got any free Kempers going, I mean, nudge, wink, wink. I would like to move away from it.
There were a lot floating around. We had a lot of Kempers on that, but yeah, you just got to go careful because sometimes it's getting pretty technical. But sometimes the processing power of the Kemper, if you do too much to it, it starts having a bit of a shit.
What's your opinion then
on it? There's a bit of
latency
on it.
So are you preferring, would you say Kemper's more of the way in terms of like live show guitar stuff? Or are you more
100%.
Valve?
100%. I mean, I used to be 100% Valve.
Yeah.
Valve's amazing, and the Kemper sounds not as good as Valve's. It never will do.
No.
It never will do.
No, 100%.
But if you have to fly Valves, that sucks.
Yeah,
that really sucks. And if you've got to rely on renting tubes, like a tube head, it's different. If you're playing like I used to work for a Marshall guy for ages, like Sid from Heaven's Basement.
Yeah,
Marshalls are amazing if you get the right Marshall. So if he had the right Marshall in the UK, but when we went to play other places, he had to rent a different Marshall, and it just wasn't the same. It's totally different. Yeah, like. It's all right if you've got a freighting company freighting all of your gear and you have the same gear every day.
Yeah,
fantastic. Play tubes, but not a lot of people have that luxury.
Unless you like Slipknot or someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a setup in different countries,
totally.
Don't they?
You know it's going to sound amazing, but
unless you're Jim Root, then
and I think the way touring's going at the moment. I did a gig. What was it? I did the one show with the Vamps a few maybe last year.
Right.
And our gear was in freight somewhere. We didn't have our backline or our Kempers. So what we did is we rented Kempers from John Henry's. And me and the other guitar tech walked in with 2 USBs and just loaded the presets on, literally 5 seconds. Like, well, that was the loading.
Oh, that's insane, isn't it?
Should we get a coffee?
What?
That's a benefit.
That's the way to do
digital,
it.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And I think it's going to go that way. The more people that use them, the more you potentially don't need to carry backline. If you could rent a Kemper in every city you went to, you'd literally be able to tour in a car
plug
with
in,
USB
go.
sticks.
It's ease of use.
Do you know what I mean? And you'd have the same rig.
Yeah.
It's insane. It is insane. But compared to a tube amp, it's still not as good.
I think just how versatile they are in comparison to.
Yeah. I think I don't know how many. At work with Vamps now, I think I've probably got 450 rigs maybe on the Kemper at the moment. It's either 350 or 450, I can't remember. That's a big truck, that, Vamps.
Plus, as well, when you're gigging and stuff like that, not everyone can have like a pedal board like Mike Eisinger from Incubus and stuff like that. Like, where you have like the pyramid of like pedals and stuff like that. Plus, pyramid dancing, like pedal dancing.
There's loads of stuff you can do with it. Like you don't need to run a pedal board.
Exactly.
If you have backing tracks running.
Yeah.
And you have time code running on your backing tracks, that can change your patches for you. And you don't even need to have a pedal board. Your sounds
is that a bit like
change.
automation, like on it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So as soon as you press play on the track, it'll start playing and it'll automatically be changing pedals for you. We do that on stage left with the Vamps.
That's insane.
Yeah. The problem is when it goes wrong. Then you need people like me.
Halfway through playing a lead or something, it just goes to clean.
There you go.
Something like that.
Exactly.
Clean sound, and then next minute the insane mode on the line 6 comes down.
Exactly.
So how long was you playing guitar then before... Was you playing guitar before you started getting into the tech stuff, or is this something that naturally came with it?
Check this out. I don't play guitar.
Oh, right.
What?
I'm pretty bad at playing guitar. I'm pretty terrible. I'm shocking.
What?
Yeah, I'm totally shocking.
So you know the ins and outs of guitars, like everything, and like
I'm
crazy.
shocking at playing, and I'm surrounded by them all day, and I've still not got any good. I've got out of tune fingers. I pull the strings out of tune really bad. But give me a guitar set up, and I'll say it's really good.
That's mad. That's absolutely mad.
I'm way better at fixing than I am at playing.
Yeah.
I'd never profess to be an amazing guitarist ever. It's pretty funny.
He's never learnt any instruments. Or...
Yeah, I mean, I played drums for like 7 years.
Right, yeah.
And I started working with drums
Right.
quite a lot, but then I realised that a drum tech's usually someone that sort of joins the party fairly later on, just because drummers are either more bothered about where the gear goes, or once it's set up, isn't it? So, you know, if you go to a gig, the drummer can set it up before the crowd gets in and sort his own stuff out. Getting a drum tech early on is a bit of a luxury. Guitar techs have more to do on a day, you know, changing strings and cables and batteries and stuff like that, whereas the kit's set up all day. And I just realised that I could get more work out of doing guitars, and it started to interest me because drums to me, like, they're cool and all, you know, you can tune a kit, but it was it was a bit of unknown. I wanted to learn new skills, and I did, and I've not really looked back really. But
don't blame me.
With regards to playing, not that great. I can play like I can't play a full song all the way through. Yeah, I can just play loads of different riffs.
Right.
Enough for sound checking.
That's good then, yeah. That's all you need.
Yeah, but it's never held me back though.
So when was the decision from going from drums to
I don't think it was a conscious decision really. I think when I worked for Basement, I think they turned around and said, we need you more really to like start dealing with guitars, and I was a bit like, what's a guitar?
That's my answer as well.
I can't hit a guitar. But I think them guys like helped me out, and they were like, this is how you string a guitar, like just basics and stuff like that. But I mean some of that must have been 15 years ago, some of it, like. So yeah, it was a while. I've strung a lot of guitars since then.
To the point where it's boring now, or
it's not boring. I've just got a drill instead of a winder, and a little string stretcher instead of my hands to stretch them in. But yeah, all the gizmos.
Do you know what? I didn't even know you could get those sort of things.
Oh yeah,
man, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm not a guitarist, so
it's fine.
I wouldn't know.
Yes.
I didn't realise how much like stuff there was though. Like you could go into detail with it, because when I came to get my bass set up with you that time, and you were just showing me like everything you'd done and that, I was just like, I didn't realise like you can really change the way an instrument plays, but just in tiny little things really. Like when you were showing like leveling the frets and then everything like that, it's just like you said, it does make a big difference.
It makes a huge difference.
Are these like minute things
on
an instrument that affect it massively?
The thing about guitar is, you know, tenths of a millimetre can make a difference on how it sounds, like string buzz and stuff like that. If you've got a fret which is a little bit high and a little bit proud compared to the rest of the frets, it'll just make the notes before that fret start buzzing loads. There's nothing you can. Well, you can try and compensate that with a setup. You can make the action a little bit higher and stuff like that, or try and bend the neck in a way that you get past that fret.
You start compensating.
But if you really want to get a good setup, then if you level a fretboard and then set it up, it'll play so much better.
Have you ever seen gear just neglected and abused then on tours and things like that?
Yeah. I've taken a lot of jobs and I've got there and I've been like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
And it's painful to see.
It's well, annoyingly, I seem to get those gigs where it's like it'll be like festival season. One of my mates will say, "Can you do this gig?" They've not played for like a year or something like that, and I'll be like, "Yeah, go on then," and I'll go down and I'm like, "Oh, gee," and then it's like, for the sake of one gig, do I really want to start rewiring a full pedal board or doing that? And usually the answer is yes, and I'm up until like 10 o'clock in the morning to make one festival gig happen the day after, or it's like 2 gigs and it's the same deal, but. Yeah, it can be pretty annoying because you know that if you don't do it, then something will go down.
Yeah, and
then
it's down on
then
you,
it's my
isn't it,
fault.
anyway?
Yeah, so
it's
So you
typical.
may
isn't
as
it?
well.
so yeah,
just-
so you basically you're tidying up other people's shit, and then
Yeah.
afterwards you're like, well, see you in a bit then. But it's a lot easier when you work for the same band repeatedly, and
Oh yeah, because
you know,
You develop that
yeah.
relationship.
yeah,
don't
and you know when you
get-
go back to the gear, you're like, I built this whole rig. Like
Yeah.
if something goes down, I know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Rather
2 years
than-
ago, I probably should have soldered that a little bit better, or yeah. It can be. It isn't. I'd way rather work for like one band repeatedly than do
Yeah.
like little bits and bobs.
So what's the best experience you've had then so far?
I don't know. What work wise
Yeah,
or
or just in general.
I met Slash once. That was pretty cool.
Oh,
Ooh.
sick.
Yeah, that was
When was
a
it?
big tick. That was at I think it was at Wacken. That was
Right.
working for their Superstar. That.
Right.
Oh, sick.
And yeah, they. I remember we played really early, and we were. We got pretty drunk that day because basically we played so early there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And if you ever play Wacken, they give you these beer tokens. And when you finish the beer tokens,
Yeah.
they basically just say when I give it, if you run out of beer tokens, come back up and we'll give you another load. So basically, it's a free
What?
bar. The
It's a
whole time
dangerous
you're
thing
there.
to
Yeah.
say.
So like we've been hitting it pretty hard, and then we'd said like, we'll go and watch Slash at like I think it was like 8 o'clock at night or something. But we've been drinking all day.
Yeah.
So I remember I smoked then. I remember finishing a rollie at the bottom of the stairs, waiting to go and watch Slash side stage, which was like, yes, this is gonna be totally mint. And the guitarist that I was working for, which is Stu from Dear Superstar, was like, "Oh, I can't be arsed waiting for you. Like you captain slow, you just smoke so slowly." And he walked up on stage and over to stage left where like the viewing platform was. But I was about 5 minutes behind him, so I finished this cig, like put it out. And as I was walking over, Slash was walking out onto stage, and it totally took me aback by like. I just didn't know what to do. I was like, "Holy fuck, that's insane! Like, what do I do?" So I remember he was getting his guitar off his guitar tech, and he passed it to me, and he like cracked a joke at the same time, and I just sort of was like stood about 6 foot away and just went, "Ha ha 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 ha!" yeah, and like I just didn't know what to do, and I basically just barged in on his conversation, and Slash looks at me and went, "Hey man, what's your name?" And I was like, "I'm Scott," and he just went, "I'm Slash," and I was like, "Yeah, I kind of know that, mate. Like, no worries." And then I think he just went, "See you in a bit" or something, and literally just turned around and walked out onto like the main stage at Wacken, and I was just like, "Holy fuck!" But then when I got over to the stage left, Stu was there waiting for me, and he was like, "You just met Slash," and I was like, "I did, didn't I, Stu? Probably should have waited for me, mate."
Yes.
Yeah,
Sick.
that were pretty good. Yeah,
Was that what was he doing his solo stuff then? Yeah.
it was.
that-
Yeah. He was playing in his own band. It was. Yeah, it was well cool. That was a good one.
Were you a big Guns N' Roses fan, or?
Yeah, pretty massive.
Yeah,
Pretty massive.
pretty massive.
Yeah.
just like just playing it cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Like, haha, yeah, all right. Slash. Oh, I didn't realise that was your name, mate. But, yeah.
What band are you from
Yeah,
again?
what band are you from again? Oh, Guns N' Roses. No, I never heard of you. More
I
for
thought you were
Bieber fan
Poison.
myself. No, it was cool.
That's
That and
sick.
I wanted a night out as what's he called out of 30 Seconds to Mars?
Jared Leto.
Yeah, I had a night as Jared Leto where we were touring I was touring Russia with 30 Seconds to Mars,
Right.
and they thought I was Jared Leto in a bar. I was a little bit skinnier back then, and yeah, they thought I was Jared Leto. So
You went along
I ended
with
up
it?
with shades on
Did you go along
in the
with it?
VIP bit, drinking a bottle of champagne.
What?
Yeah.
That's
That was
sick.
that was pretty fun.
That was sick.
And the PA tech was pretending to be my security guard. Yeah, that was good.
So were you touring with 30 Seconds to Mars?
Yeah, I was looking after the support band.
Oh, that's sick. So did
But-
you meet?
Yeah,
Hello.
the last day he shook my hand as he walked off stage.
Oh, so that was literally like the
That
end
was
of it.
yeah,
that
it was
was
literally
it.
the end of it, and I well wanted to go, "Cheers, mate," but then I thought, nah, he probably wouldn't like that.
So what era was this? Was this like
I don't know when that was.
what
That must
herd
have
did
been
he have?
like-
And that's probably
Yeah,
explained.
he had hair like
Heard,
mine.
yeah.
right.
He's not cut it yet.
No.
No. Because he's going ahead with the whole Jesus thing at the moment, where
Oh, yeah,
he's
yeah.
doing the Camp
What, is he
Mars
back-
thing.
is he
where-
back
Oh,
again?
Jesus.
What?
The Jesus thing.
Yeah, well, he's doing the Camp Mars thing again, isn't
Is
he? So
he?
yeah,
He's
I've seen
cult.
videos of him, and he's just driving around on his golf cart, all dressed in all white.
I didn't realize. Is that a thing?
Yeah,
Same as
it's-
it? Amazing.
I forgot I had it on.
Amazing. Right, yeah. He was weird. He was pretty weird on that. So it's very like worshipy.
He definitely does think he's the second
Yeah.
coming. Like,
It was interesting. That's all I'll say.
I think every story I've heard about Jared Leto has been like, it's been a bit bizarre.
Do you think Jared Leto thought he was shaking hands with himself when he met you?
Maybe, yeah.
He's just like, I've got to shake my
a
own
shorter,
hands.
fatter version of himself.
He'd probably prefer that, but like, hello, me.
Yeah. You look good today.
Well, thank you, Jared. Go be Jesus.
I should have introduced myself as Jared, seeing how that went down.
That'd be sick. I should have done that. Should have gone with that.
Yeah.
Should have called him Scott.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, mate.
Hi, Scott. No, it's Jared. No, I'm Jared.
Inception.
Horns play in the background.
Yeah.
God.
I can't remember what we're on about now.
No, I mean it.
Was it? Oh,
What's
like,
your
like
best experiences?
Yeah.
Yeah, that were pretty good. And then I reckon, like, on a more serious note, I did what was it? It's not British. Summertime Ball with the Vamps at Wembley Stadium. That was cool.
Yeah.
Just to look out to a stadium and think, yeah, remember all them times I dropped out of school and like music technology and stuff.
Worth it.
Probably worth it. Yeah.
Nailed it.
From skipping school to go and play to set up a drum kit for someone that was going to go and play to 150 people in London to standing on stage at Wembley Stadium. It was pretty cool.
I think because you did that, you had to justify.
I think
that
so.
every
Yeah,
time
made
you're
myself feel better.
Yeah, miss music tech for this.
Is it daunting? Like, I know, obviously, you're not actually playing in front of those people and stuff like that, but obviously you're like an essential part of how that show goes.
Yeah,
and
You're, like,
yeah.
how many
responsible.
people are viewing that, and is that
Yeah,
is it quite precious, that?
I think it's daunting when you don't have a rehearsal. Like if I cover someone
Yeah.
and I'm learning new equipment or new gear, excuse me, when we don't have a rehearsal, I think that's quite daunting because you just don't have time to get your head around it. It's more about the equipment for me than how many people are watching.
Yeah.
Because I think it maybe took me about 5 years to realise. I think it was doing a really in-depth sort of pre-production for a tour.
Yeah.
To the point where we had PA and control in the rehearsal room, so everything was the same every day.
Right.
It just made me realise that even when we're doing a gig, it's the same as being in this rehearsal room.
Yeah.
So all the gear's the same. So when I'm still if I'm still on stage at a festival like main stage, I'm still thinking it's the same as being in that rehearsal room like 3 days ago, which was the size of a stamp. Do you know what I mean? Like it's no different. It's just there's a few people watching out there. Like
Yeah.
who
Do you
cares?
prefer the intimate shows? Or do you prefer the bigger ones?
I prefer the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Usually. I think it's different when you're a crew member. It makes gigs go so quick. I think sometimes it does get a bit boring. Like full arena tours. Arenas are the same, worldwide. They actually are. They're exactly the same. Your day's the same. Loading's at the same time. There's no. The PA's the same.
Yeah.
All your gear's the same. If there's not a lot goes wrong really, hopefully. But theatres are cool. Theatres are cool.
Yeah.
If you're in a bus pulling a trailer, or you've got one truck, and theatres look different, stage is different sizes. That's pretty fun. But and the gig's still big enough to be like, that was awesome. And it gets sweaty. Although, to be fair, like if you go and do an underplay and you're trying to shoehorn a load of gear in like a little club, that's pretty fun too. I remember once Glamour of the Kills drum rug smelling of cheese because it was this gig in Hull was so full that condensation was dripping off the ceiling. But that was the first day of the tour. So by the last day of the tour,
Oh, no.
it absolutely hummed. that was just as fun as doing Wembley Stadium.
I've been to one of those gigs like that where it was of Mice and Men at NQ in Manchester.
Right.
I think you've told this story 3 times on this podcast.
Yeah, but it was
just
just insane. I've never been to
I like the
experience
story,
like
but-
it though. Like it was just before they got like quite big.
Yeah.
But it was one of those. Have you been into NQ before?
Did it used to be called? Oh yeah, it was like
No, it wasn't called NQ at the time. I don't think though. I'm not too sure. It might have been.
It's the one next to Crazy Pedro's. Yeah.
No, the near Affleck's
It
Palace.
is that. Yeah.
Yeah. The roof was like really
Yeah.
low in there.
That was the gig that I remember. Basement got signed from that gig.
Right.
He used to have a little red phone booth in there, like a London phone box. Yeah.
That's
It was just a really low roof on it though,
Yeah.
so I remember it really being like a really intimate show. But because it was packed out, like it was a sold out show, it was literally the sweat just dripping off the roof, and everyone was crowd surfing over the barriers and stuff, and things were just. And then Austin Carlisle decided to punch the air conditioning out. So he was like, "Well, this has not helped the situation." So everyone was walking out drip wet through.
Yeah.
So yeah, then they kicked a hole in the wall as well between the actual.
Just trying to get some air in.
Yeah.
Thinking,
the
fuck,
breeze.
shouldn't have done that.
As you're walking out, you could just see into the green room, and they're all just sat there looking at this hole like, maybe we shouldn't have done that.
Someone's getting a fan.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out the fact that you've told this story that much, you've actually forgot the premise of where
Yeah,
it's
I've
actually.
just forgot, yeah.
Should have just bought one of those like hand-operated fans.
Yeah. So just imagine just crowd surfing one of those.
Yeah. Don't bother kicking all in.
I mean, you've done it with a fan when you was at Download in Paris, the Foo Fighters.
Oh yeah, there was when watching Foo Fighters, download Paris, and they were handing out all the what are they called now?
Fans.
Fans.
Is it? There's no
Hand
actual-
fans?
Hand fans. You know,
Hand
the
in-
fancy ones where you're like. And
Nice.
you know, like,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
A flick fan.
With the
Flicky fan,
sound.
that's-
Yeah.
we
With the
would call
sound.
it a flick fan.
Yeah.
So I had a.
Dangerous then.
You stay away with that flip fan.
So
Handing
just-
out fans to fans.
Yeah. I decided to go crowd surfing, and as I got on top of there, I thought, you know what, let's get this fan out. So I got the fan out on top of everyone. I had a little bit to drink though, obviously before it, because
I never would have guessed.
So, yeah.
No, of course.
So I got up there. I think it was in the middle of Breakout by Foo
Alright, yeah.
Fighters, and I managed to time it right. Whereas the kick in, like shouting the Breakout bit, I got chucked over the barrier just as that was kicking in. But I remember looking like forward and. Pat Smear was like looking towards, and it was like, but you never see you always see him like smile. You never see him frown at like ever.
Yeah, he could have been thinking.
You
What
don't
a
know what he's
dickhead.
thinking exactly like. And then the day after, I saw him in Manchester, and I was considering doing it again because they still had the fan on me.
It's like, it's the fan,
Yeah,
man.
it's the fan, man. You know what? I should have just done that. I should have made a
done.
costume.
Yeah.
And every Foo Fighters show I go to, the fan man appears.
The fan.
Yeah, the fan.
The fantastic
Oh
fan
my
man.
God, yeah, the fan man.
What's everyone's worst crowd surfing experience?
I don't know. Mine was at Taste of Chaos tour back in 2010. Did you ever?
I never did take a Taste of Chaos. No.
I think it was on the line. It was Papa Roach, Disturbed,
Buck
Hailstorm,
Cherry.
and Buck Cherry.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Right.
a really, really good lineup. And it was during-
You know what? I wonder if that was in the middle of. Was it Buck Cherry or that? I think that was in the middle of a Papa Roach tour potentially, or a Buck Cherry tour.
yeah,
And Basement were on it, and we had a day off, and they all went to do that, but we never did it.
they all went to do the
Yeah.
Taste of Chaos.
Yeah,
no
I think
way.
it was that.
yeah.
It was
Right,
like they
right,
basically
right.
just got the full tour and just did like a little festival sort of thing
Right.
on like one of the days off.
Yeah, it must be that then.
Yeah.
Did they tour the Taste of Chaos? Oh
I
yeah,
think-
obviously they did because it's Taste of Chaos tour. But I mean, was there more in the UK? Was it? Or was
I
it
think
just
there was
a couple?
a couple. I
Right.
think it wasn't anything massive.
It was one at like 2 gigs, like North. I can't
It was
remember.
this one's at Manchester Central, so they might have just done Manchester and London.
Oh, right.
I don't know.
Right.
I remember it was like literally one of the first like UK appearances for Hailstorm because they were doing like the debut album at that
Yeah,
point.
Familiar Taste of Poison. They played
Right,
that,
yeah.
But yeah, to continue with your crowd
So
surfing
yeah,
experience.
I decided to go crowd surfing for Papa Roach, and back then I used to wear, them skate shoes where you just didn't tie your laces, and
Yeah.
they were like, they had the big like tongue on them and stuff
Massive,
like that.
Osiris.
Yeah. So I had them on, and obviously they just slipped off whenever I was doing anything. So as I was crowd surfing to like, I don't know what Papa Roach song it would have been, but I was up there anyway, and my shoe came off in the middle of the mosh pit as I was crowd surfing like over it. It was weird. And then I got dropped on the floor on my back, winded myself, and this huge guy just like came over to me and looked over me, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And he was like, you alright, mate? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, do you want to go back up? I was like, might as well. I'm near enough at the end now, so I might as well finish it. Then I came back round and I was trying to find my shoe in the mosh pit, and I was getting like kneed in the head and shit. And I came out, I was like, fuck me. I still had Disturbed to go after that.
Did you find the shoe?
I found the shoe.
That's good.
I found the shoe.
It was a good ending. Good ending.
Yeah. It was like a scene off like a war movie, honestly. Just me like on the floor trying to grab my shoe whilst everyone's like pushing around and getting kicked and stuff.
Picturing it like Saving Private Ryan as everything's going off in the
deleted.
background.
Black and white in slow motion with some like violins behind it. Then you
Deleted scene from 1917.
Yeah, could have won an Oscar.
Yeah, this is the GoPro mounted to your shoe.
Oh my god. Well, have any of you guys got one?
I've never crowd surfed, mate.
Really?
Nah.
Me either.
I've thought about it quite a lot.
You considered
When
it.
were you reading it?
No, but you know, like,
just jump on there.
sometimes I think about it like, yeah, I'd probably get the sack, but I could just go and crowd surf now. Like during a gig that I were working.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty funny.
Do you think you get sacked for it?
It's not the most professional thing I've ever done.
Oh, hell no. Absolutely no.
But I don't know. I wouldn't like to risk it if I was honest. But
Yeah,
it does
fair.
it does cross my mind. You know, it's that sort of like. I wonder if. What would happen if? Yeah.
What if I just jumped over
Yeah.
that barrier and just went for it?
And maybe that's a weird. Maybe my mind works weird.
Test
I don't know.
how much the band pay attention.
Yeah, I could do that. I think it'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Or like one day if I just turned up on the front row.
Like, but you're meant to be working for us.
Yeah. Hang on, if you're here, who's driving the boat? Yeah.
I think mine was the same as yours at Taste of Chaos, but I think mine was the Disturbed instead.
Yeah.
Where you bullied me into crowd surfing, and then got halfway through it, a pit started. I fell into the abyss that was the pit, and then landed right on my ass bone. And then I remember being on the floor like that.
That's the worst, that, isn't it?
And eventually, like, just slowly getting myself up, and then someone like, "Oh, you going? Do you want to get back up?" I'm like, yeah. So I just like got pushed over. I remember like going over where the guitarist was for this Disturbed, and being like, "Ah, sick," and then that was it.
That was it. Over and done with.
I was limping off.
Yeah. Oh god. It's those experiences you look for in gigs though sometimes.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I remember at the end of a festival in Belgium with Glamour of the Kill, Mike from Glamour crowd surfing, but no one caught him. Oh. So like, but he did it from on stage, and I think Architects were headlining or something. And we were having a few beers at the back, and he went, "I'm gonna go and crowd surf." Like, okay, and he's a big geezer. He's a huge geezer, really, like stocky, and. Yeah, so we're all waiting. We're all watching, and you see him come up at the corner of the back of the stage, and we're like, "Here we go, he's going to do it, he's going to do it." And he legs it, and he sort of like, did he trip over the monitor? I think he tripped over one at wedges on the front of the stage, to manage to clear the pit barrier, but no one caught him at all. And it was so perfect, because we were all waiting for him to do it. And then like, he suddenly just comes back like, "Did you see it?" And we were like, "Yeah." You stacked it. It was great.
Absolutely flatten people in the process.
Maybe I should start crowd surfing.
I think you should.
I should at least give it a go, shouldn't I?
Yeah. But if anything bad happens to it, don't blame us.
As long as you don't trip over a monitor, you're fine.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Just clear the wedges and you're fine.
James from the Vamps has never crowd surfed. And he
peer pressure him into it.
He always has wanted to do it, and occasionally, if we're having a really good gig, he'll come over and go, "Do you know I should crowd surf tonight?" And I'm always like, "Yes, 100%." Because he's never done it yet.
I like how you're telling him to do it.
Yeah, of course.
Also,
Just give me
never
a guitar.
crowd surf.
Yeah. Just don't take the guitar. Don't smash it. Don't touch it. Just leave that with me.
Yeah, leave it here.
Go and do whatever you want.
Is it weird going from like rock vibe to pop vibe?
It was at first, and then
Yeah.
you realise that it's pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't change anything really. It's just the type of music, and there's a little bit
Yeah.
less distortion. That's about it.
Is the rigs more complicated, or is it just literally the exact same?
It is exactly the same. I mean, because the Vamps are quite a lot bigger than any other band that I've really worked for. Really,
Yeah.
the stage show is quite a lot bigger. So we'd have 2 stages in an arena, which poses its own problems of like. Basically, we started putting out 2 pedal boards for him.
Yeah.
So then I've got 2 pedal boards controlling 2 Kempers, which control each other. So
Oh
if
my
I
God.
change on the Kemper, it controls 2 pedal boards. And if I change on one pedal board, it controls the other pedal board
Oh,
and 2
yeah.
Kempers. So that's
So it all
different.
it
But
all adjusts one another.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right, okay.
So, but it's all MIDI, so it's all controlled via MIDI messages. But that's more to do with the size of the shows than the type of music we're playing. It just so happens that they're a pop band and not a metal band or a rock band.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you work out like this is what I'm gonna do?
It took me 2
using
days to do that. And I rang up Kemper and they were like, you can't do that unless you get like this MIDI brain that they only sold in the 90s and they're really hard to get hold of. But
And I imagine extortionately
yeah,
expensive.
but
yeah.
I managed to figure out how to do it by
So you heard that and thought,
creating a tower of splits and merges.
and
They're
thought,
all Velcroed at the back of the
Challenge
rig.
accepted.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you ring Kemper back up after that?
I've
and
never
go,
spoken to him
Oh,
again.
should have done that.
We're defo tagging him in this post
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
release this episode.
Can you give me a job, please?
Yeah.
But
Free
yeah,
Kemper. So how do you approach different equipment? Because I remember you saying that's where you have your barrier about it.
Yeah, every band's different. It just depends. The hardest part of doing our job is figuring out what type of guitar player they are and how they like their stuff. You know, like there's guitarists that they necessarily don't have 2 channels on their amps. They maybe use 1 channel and ride the volume control. There's guitarists that use 1 pedal for 1 pedal for each sound. There's people that use loopers. There's people that use Kempers. Once you figure that out, it's really easy. Figuring that out is
Because it's making them as comfortable as possible.
exactly
and
that's
then-
what our job is. You know, they need to feel like they need everything to be reliable. They need to know that if something goes down, we've got their backs. And once you realise how to do that, then that's the job. If nothing goes wrong, then we've done our job. But if something does go wrong and you fix
Then it's-
it,
yeah.
then we've done our job as well.
Pressure's on. Have you ever had anything go wrong? And it's
Oh
been
yeah.
high? Yeah, I'm guessing that was a
Oh
yes,
yeah. How long have
but
you got?
As long as you want.
Yeah, quite a lot of things go wrong. The worst part is just when 2 things go wrong at the same time, because then you fix one of them, but you still think that wasn't the problem because something else is broke as well. But it was the problem, and then you fix something else, and you think, why isn't it working? And that's because 2 things have gone wrong. That's the worst. That is the worst.
I imagine it like off The Simpsons, where Homer works in like the nuclear power station. There's like lights flashing everywhere. And it's just mass
It's a
panic.
bit like that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I imagine that
Yeah.
issue being.
I used to have a thing called what was it called now? Radio Maker I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, it's a wireless switcher. So
Yeah.
basically, you can select what guitar goes through the amp.
Yeah.
So you'd use it for. Yeah, if I was going to change guitar, you'd select it on this rack mount thing, but it had a panic button on it, and the panic button is when you've got a problem. It turns every guitar on, and it turns the cable on because you used to be able to plug a cable, just in
Right.
case.
Yeah.
And that was if something was really
Mass panic.
going on and you didn't know what was, you press the panic button and it used to light up red, so even if it was dark you could see it. Panic. And yeah, you could basically just put a guitar and a cable out there and it'd be sorted.
Sick. Even though you don't play guitar, do you have a guitar preference, like brand wise?
Oh yeah.
What's your thing?
I'm more of a Gibson guy.
You're a Gibson guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Which one?
I like a Les Paul Junior. I wouldn't say Les Paul. I like a Junior, mate, or
Yeah.
something a bit Have you heard of Gordon Smith?
Yeah, loosely.
Manchester. Well, they used to be made
Yeah,
south of Manchester, but they're like workhorse guitars. So they're
Yeah.
a lot like a Les Paul Jr. in that there's no bells or whistles.
Yeah, it's just
a lot of
simple.
them have one pickup in them,
Yeah,
but there's a lot less to go wrong. So
yeah, it's true.
they go on for years and years, and because there's less bells and whistles, they spend more money on type of wood.
Yeah.
The workmanship's a lot better.
I think I'd probably go for a Les Paul Jr. over a Les Paul, because I remember the defining moment where I was like, Gibson really isn't for me now,
Yeah.
was I was a massive Guns N' Roses fan as well, and I was like, right, eventually I'm going to get a Les Paul, like Slash and stuff like that. And I did work experience when I was in high school in a guitar shop, and I remember they had the Randy Rhoads special model in the white and stuff like that. I went, "Do you know what? I'm going to play that because that's surely like Slash's." I remember plugging in and playing it and going, I really don't like the feel of this.
Right, yeah.
Because was just, the neck was just so...
To be fair, like, depending on what year it's modelled off, you do get a lot of different neck profiles.
You tend to hear that the ones that were like the Appetite guitars are a lot thinner.
Yeah.
Which is probably like my preference on it, because I've got PRS or Fender.
Right.
So that's probably where I'd kind of lie on it. But
yeah.
I think I'd probably like you said, I'd probably sway for a Les Paul Jr. over.
Thinking about what I said, that's quite a boring. If you could have any guitar, I've picked the most boring one. But
there's nothing wrong with that. If like for work horse guitars and stuff like that, that's all you need pretty much.
Yeah.
Like you don't need something like a fucking
Gibson
robot.
I know it sounds great.
The monstrosity
of
thing,
isn't it?
It is, yeah.
What was your way in? Obviously, last year they had the whole thing where they had the new Gibson CEO and they did like the whole play authentic and tried like doing lawsuits against, I think it was Ibanez and stuff like that.
Yeah, they always do stuff like that, don't they?
Yeah.
I think they just need to concentrate on making good guitars.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a few through. I don't really rate. What did I get through the other day? I think it was like 2017 or 2018 Les Paul Standard.
Yeah.
And it felt like a Chinese copy to me.
I hear they're bad.
Yeah, but then I had a 2019 through the other day.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was as heavy as a 70s Les Paul, and it felt amazing. So maybe they're back making great, amazing guitars, hopefully.
Maybe.
But I mean, I don't think I'd ever really buy a brand new guitar anymore. I think I'd buy a second-hand guitar every time.
Do you think?
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm saying that. Probably my two PRSs are obviously second-hand because they're like, 2001 PRSs?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the characteristics or just the
I think it's just for the money you spend on a brand new guitar, you could get a way better vintage one, which would sound way better and
be nice.
It's got a bit of a story behind it, yeah. And also, I'm from Yorkshire, so I hate spending money. I'm constantly thinking, why? Like, I could get it for cheaper somewhere else. And that's what I do.
It's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
I'd probably agree with the whole second-hand thing, but then at the same time, my PRS needs a serious MOT, because it's absolutely...
You know to send it.
Yeah, I know where to go now. Absolutely
if only you knew
knackered.
someone.
I wonder who.
So we usually have a section on the podcast. We'll start with the first one though, where we talk about pet peeves.
All right.
And what are your pet peeves?
My pet peeves. What pisses me off?
Yeah.
Ooh.
The rules are you pick the topic and we just talk about it.
All right.
Can be about anything.
Anything.
It's not even going to be to do with music.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I hate. I hate people.
It's in general.
I do a lot. I do a lot of travelling, right, and quite often I'll have 2 cases with me. So I'll be pulling a suitcase and I'll be pulling my workbox flight case because it's got wheels on one end.
Yeah.
So I do like a bit of a scissor technique, one in each hand. You like that, don't you? One in each hand. So I'll push the first one and I'll pull the other one, especially going up escalators.
Right.
What I hate is when you're going up an escalator and someone stops at the top of the escalator when they get off. So you're going up.
In it.
I hate it. You're going up, and there's no way you can avoid collision because I'm on a moving object, and you've stopped at the top of the moving object. What are you doing? It's even worse when I've got luggage with me. I mean, technically, I probably shouldn't take luggage on an escalator, but
still,
I have.
Deal with it.
Get out of my way. I hate it.
It's like factories with like a rotisserie belt and with them, like if they're adding parts and shit.
Yeah.
It's like it's just one person
basically,
just stopped.
Yeah.
And you just have that
Yeah.
pile up.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, I get that. Like,
I would just live for hitting people. That's what I'd be excited for. Like,
Yeah.
right? Not your day today, is it?
Game on.
Maybe I should just get like some sort of pole mounted to the front of me.
should put a GoPro on you. And do a montage of
Yeah,
like
this-
videos.
I need
This
some
is a
sort
new
of spear.
YouTube series.
I just need like a 2-foot spear, because if someone gets 2 foot in front of me and I'm about to hit them, there's a problem. Why would you be that close to me?
Yeah, that's a valid point. You should get like a boxing glove or something, or just the hand off Jackass 3,
Yeah.
and just to kind of push them out the way,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Oh, an air horn attached to your suitcase.
That's what I should get,
Yes.
an air horn.
Security
Yeah.
have a nightmare
If
with
vehicles have horns, why do people not have horns?
They do. It's just, oi, prick!
Move.
Yeah. I hate it. I hate it.
A spear would be good.
That's a good one.
Keep
We've
your
never had
personal
that one yet.
space. Avoid coronavirus. It's perfect for an airport.
Yeah. Dragon's Den.
Yeah. Just pitch it to Duncan Bannon time. Sick of people? Smack them. So, the usual regular segment we have on, apart from pet peeves, is the other part of this podcast is horror movie related.
Right.
So, our question is to you: what is your favourite scary movie?
I know you were going to say that. Then, when you were saying it mid sentence, I was
Yeah.
like, he's going to ask me what my favourite scary movie
Yeah,
is.
here we go.
I'm not a massive horror movie guy, you know.
You're not the first person.
I love a romantic comedy, if I'm honest.
Wrong guy. Your wife's just looked in shame.
She hates him. I'm always talking to her like, come on, Bridget Jones, come on. But scary movie.
What's your favourite Bridget Jones?
Have we gone down that route?
Oh, man.
It's a question.
I mean, it's easy the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to be. I've still not seen Bridget Jones' Baby, by the way.
I don't think.
Oh,
I
I
want to.
watched that.
I've
Did
seen
you?
that. I got forced
that
into
one,
watching
I
that.
mean, that sounds scary. Scary. Ooh. I like. Have you ever seen Old Boy?
Yeah.
Not so much
No.
scary.
Josh Groban.
It's a Japanese film, isn't
Josh
it?
Groban.
In fact, actually, they remade it,
Josh
didn't they? I
Groban.
think.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, did they
the
remade it,
remake.
didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh Groban.
Who's Josh Groban now?
That's a
Josh
banging movie.
Brolin.
Who's Josh Groban?
No idea, mate.
That's a
Yeah,
word.
I think he's a singer.
Google it. One sec.
Groban. Yeah,
Josh Grogan.
Groban.
Groban.
Yeah, hang on. I've
Yeah.
still got Google Maps on. Hang
Josh
on.
Brolin is, but yeah, it was the remake that I've watched. I've not watched the original, but someone was actually telling me about that the other day. Apparently, the original's pretty good.
The original's savage.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
it's
That
pretty
was
brutal.
that was one of them films where I watched and I was like, like afterwards I was like, that is a movie. Like,
it's up there
Jesus.
with,
You say
thingy
it was
standards.
Japanese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just an update.
Say no more.
Josh
Yeah.
Groban is an American singer-songwriter.
Yeah, I thought
There you
I
go.
thought I'd heard that name before.
He's also made an appearance in the US office.
Was he an old? Has he?
Ooh.
Yeah, it was,
Who was it in the office?
Andy Bernard's brother.
Andy Bernard's brother.
I don't remember Andy Bernard's brother.
Your wife confirms
Yeah,
this.
apparently. He plays guitar. And Andy sings. Ah, right. I still don't really remember
That's that man.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Is he in the remake?
No, he isn't. I don't know why I said his name. it just popped in my head. I was
Josh
like,
Brolin.
You meant Josh
Is it
Brolin as in
remake?
Thanos.
Yeah, I meant Thanos, not the guy who plays guitar.
You mentioned him as Thanos. Just in the middle of Endgame, he just breaks out into song.
Oh, man. Yeah, but I can imagine the old boy being a lot like the original, like Keanu Reeves in
Yeah.
what's it called? What's the Keanu Reeves film where he's just chopping people up and
John
shooting
Wick.
people? Yeah,
John
John
Wick.
Wick. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's very much a similar sort
It's
of
a similar.
vibe,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Do you know what? I've not ever actually seen John Wick.
Oh my.
I've not seen that as well, to be fair.
Oh,
I was just
man.
sat there
I'm all
going,
over
yeah,
one.
it is,
Old boy,
yeah, it is.
yes.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
You're not dropping
What's-
Josh Groban now.
No.
What's your favourite scary film?
Well, mine's Halloween.
Is it?
Yeah.
Classic,
Original.
innit?
Yeah, classic.
Never seen that either.
Have
No,
you
I
actually
have
not-
I have
oh,
seen it.
Saw the offence on Matty's face there.
Or have I?
Dun, dun, dun.
What's yours?
Elm Street.
Another classic.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. Yeah.
Okay, we're safe.
A long time ago though.
A while back.
That movie, like when I was a kid, it must have been the same with you guys. But not. I'm older than you are.
I'm 25.
I'm 30.
It's 5 years.
Yeah. When I was a kid, it was like I remember there was like one guy down our street that's like, I've seen Nightmare on Elm Street. My brother's got it, and we were like, shit off. Like, he was like, let's have a sleepover on Friday. Like, we'll put it on. Like, all right, deal.
This isn't As You're 30, is it?
Yeah, this was last week. It was great. We set up a tent up in a garden and everything. We went camping.
And it was my house.
Yes. Oh yeah, I remembered you.
Oh my god.
Those were the days, man. We used to go around your mates and just have a sleepover. And
Yeah,
just stay
damn
up all
right.
night.
Horror
Like,
movie.
those
You
nights
used to
we-
bring fucking Blockbuster every time that you
Honestly,
fucking
mate,
came.
I used to bring a collection of DVDs.
Did you?
All right, boys, if you want horror movies, we've got a collection here. We've got
Yeah.
Friday the 13th box set, Nightmare on Elm Street,
A to
Scream,
Z.
whatever you want. You've got Viva La Bamia, Jackass, you know what I mean? Depending on what we're
Amazing.
feeling, boys. And sometimes we'd just change it up halfway through the night, and it'd be 6 o'clock in the morning and we still would be tired.
You were
But
dealing.
no.
You were
I
dealing in
was
horror
dealing
films.
with DVDs. It was
Wow.
like I could have turned up in a trench coat, mate, like, what do you want?
And if you fancy spicing things up, I do
Yeah.
have a collection of Dirty Sanchez.
Amazing. Yeah. The adult section's at the back.
And if you look to the rear,
Amazing.
right? I think that's everything. Then,
What's your favourite scary film?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, I was feeling left out.
Sorry.
I just
Alright,
didn't want to
fair
say it. The Shining.
The Shining.
A classic.
That is great. So I'm
Like,
more
it's
into
a bit,
that
It's a
sort
bit
of
more
stuff.
psychological,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
I think that's why I prefer it.
yeah,
'Cause I hate the cheap horror where it's really loud and in your face.
yeah.
I bet you've had a lot of time when you're on tour and stuff where you get to just a lot of downtime. Like,
Oh,
where
yeah.
you can just like.
I thought it would have been the opposite.
I've seen
where-
Gavin and Stacey a few times.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Did you watch the Christmas special?
Mate, of course I did.
Yeah.
Of course I did. It weirded me out. I reckon they got a new director.
Yeah.
I'd like to look it up, but
Yeah.
some of the camera shots were weird compared to the series because I've
Yeah.
seen it that many times. I was like, something's not right here. Like the script's there and like it's all the same characters, but something's just a bit weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm sure it was that. I'm sure just some of the shots were just dead odd.
It's been a while. When was the last series out?
Quite a while ago,
Yeah,
wasn't it? I don't know.
Who originally wrote? Because even I saw the Christmas special. I've never even watched Gavin and Stacey normally, apart from that. So who wrote it originally? Because I know it was James Corden.
And Ruth.
yeah, Ruth,
yeah,
yeah.
So it was always them.
I don't know if James Corden wrote it originally, like the first series, but I think he wrote a lot of it with
'Cause I
her.
always
But I know
thought-
she definitely
Yeah.
wrote it all the way through.
I always thought it was like Matthew Horn and James Corden. Because I thought it, like, even when I saw the Christmas special, I've not even properly watched Gavin and Stacey apart from like scenes and clips and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But it just seemed like the pacing and the way that characters were just seemed
Yeah.
completely weird. Like
It
in
is.
comparison to what it was originally.
Yeah. Well, when I first started watching Gavin and Stacey, like it took me a while to get into it.
Yeah.
But I liked Royal Family as well.
Yeah, I love Royal Family, man. Yeah.
There's the similar vibes, and it's one of those like comedies where it's like, obviously you sat there watching them on a couch, but it's very boring. But just the stuff they come out with is funny. But you just, like, know
it
the
is similar
humour, don't
vibes.
it?
Yeah,
Whereas like Gavin and Stacey is obviously like based obviously within Wales, and that's where
Yeah.
at first I didn't think I'd be really into
yeah,
it.
and I think it does take you a while to get into it because like, they've got it's dumbed down humour, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you
that's it,
first
yeah.
watch it, you're like, this isn't that funny.
No.
But after you've watched it like for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
someone will come out with some tiny little bit of information,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it'll refer to something that happened like 2 weeks ago, which was he's so funny. You know, like, but if anyone was to walk in the room and be like, he literally said like he was off to get a coffee
you'd be like,
or
"What
something,
you
you'd be
watching?"
like,
Yeah.
why is that
Yeah.
funny? Like, it's great. You need to watch the whole thing, don't you? You know, to get it.
Yeah, definitely.
How often have you been watching Gavin and Stacey to pick up those small things?
Quite often.
Because of Tor.
Well, I can't. I don't know. I'll give it like a year and then I won't watch it for a bit, and I'll watch one episode and I end up watching like one full season.
Yeah, I
Quite
do that
often.
with the IT crowd all the time.
Yeah,
Can't help it.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Forget me judging you.
No, all right. Get back there in your corner.
I've always said if Oxbloods went on tour, I'd buy us a box set of Frasier just so we had something.
Fancy you getting on this tour?
No, I've never watched.
Have you never seen Frasier?
No.
I've seen Frasier. It's good.
It's pretty funny.
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Well, everyone's just looking at me like
that used to be on
what the fuck?
TV. Like they played like
Still
every.
is.
Is it? They play like every episode. I can't remember what channel it was.
It's Channel 4, but then if it's like a Simpsons episode with Sacha or Bob in it, you've got like a double amount of Kelsey Grammer. He's been slapped by Kelsey Grammer on Channel 4.
Yeah. Boy was on coin back then, wasn't he?
Yeah. Absolutely
Yeah.
off the wall.
Yeah, 80s, like when people got paid real money as well. Jesus.
Still getting revenue off it, even
Yeah,
after like
yeah,
30 years.
loving it.
Syndicated episode, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely syndicated, isn't it? 100 episodes.
It's way more than that.
So they make a killing. More, you know.
There must be about like 9 seasons of it or something like that. It's crazy what sitcoms get to because they just go, well, it's not broken, just keep doing it, doing it.
Churn it
And that's
out.
why you end up with Big Bang Theory, like fucking
Yeah.
20 billion episodes of
Yeah.
it. But E4 will only play the one season.
yeah.
Moving back onto subject. I don't even know how I segue this.
It's good.
Thought you might like it. People coming up, crewing and stuff like that. What's your advice for them? Is it drop out of school?
No,
don't
it's definitely
study?
not. It's definitely not. What I'd say is try and find. I think it works better these days as well. Try and find a company that is either a backline rental company or maybe a PA company or something like that. There's companies that do that all over the country.
Yeah.
And just get a job with them either in the warehouse, checking out stuff. They'll train you up and send you out on jobs eventually. And then from that, becoming self-employed, if you wanted to go off with a band, is pretty easy. I think that's definitely a better way of doing it. I think I was just quite lucky, really. And I was young enough to be able to live at my mum and dad's house, rent free.
Take advantage
Yeah,
while you
I
can.
didn't have any bills coming in, so yeah, I think that's way better. Or go and do a uni course or something like that.
Yeah. Get
The thing about it is technology is so important these days. You know, if you're not staying on, I mean, I need to make a conscious effort to do it now. As soon as we got Kempers with the Vamps, I was all out. I wanted to be the guy that knew the most about Kemper. Do you know? So, in order to do that when you're just starting out and learning is pretty difficult. I think if you was to get a job with a backline company or go to university, they've got all that technology there and they renew it so often anyway because they've got to stay on top of technology. Then you can do that. Yeah, I'd hate to. I don't know how a lot of the old boys do it these days. You know, that have just been used to a tube amp.
Yeah, so used to analog.
Yeah, exactly. And all this stuff and processing's coming out now where if you don't know what you're doing, like. It's hard to keep on top of, really.
So how do you keep on top of it? You're not just reading manuals, are you? So I imagine that would be tedious.
No, I mean, there is parts of reading manuals.
Yeah.
Manuals these days don't tell you a great deal, though. Really, a lot of what I do is just first of all we need to find a problem to solve. So, like, can I drop tune on a Kemper or, the way a wah reacts to certain things. There's so much you can do on it. It's insane. But just the way I keep on top of it is just either by reading it up on the internet. User forums are quite a good thing to do stuff like that. YouTube videos are really good. I hate reading as well. So watching a video, if I can watch a video and not read, then damn right I'm down for that.
I think I have that excuse as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, when you get really technical, there's a lot of things that people just haven't done yet with it. Like, can I run 2 Kempers at the same time, signal splitting, and stuff like that.
And then eventually that snowballs, and you've got this
exactly.
wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, but then I'll bring something else out.
And you think, oh fuck, where's the YouTube video?
Damn. But, it's a lot of signal chain is a lot of it. That'll never change, but the technology that you run your signal through, that changes.
Yeah.
So
That's your best way of problem solving, isn't it?
Exactly,
Follow
yeah.
the signal.
yeah, exactly. But,
My stomach keeps going. It's
I
dry.
keep
You
going
hungry?
mouse.
You hungry? I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Well, whilst we're rounding things up, is there anything that you want to promote whilst you're here?
Not Kemper.
Yeah, they've had
We've
enough.
done enough,
They've,
yeah.
they've had enough
Yeah.
airtime.
You've had enough.
Just my guitar setups page on Facebook, really.
Yeah, tell away.
So it's facebook.com/SWF Guitars. I think the handle on Instagram is at SWF Guitars. When I'm at home off tour, which I am now, I'd set up and do guitar repairs from my house. And I've been doing it since 2008, and it's really fun. I really enjoy doing it, spending a long period of time uninterrupted on an instrument is a lot of fun in my house. It means I can really put my mind to it and do a really good job for people that want to.
I think your content in terms of like on your social media where you're actually like you do your time lapse of like you setting up the guitars and stuff, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I want to do more of that as well, really.
Yeah, because I don't actually see anyone else who has that type of content when they're actually doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You'll tend to find that they'll post a picture of it when it's been all done.
Well, you know what as well. There's a lot of times when I do that as well, and I think, damn, like I've just drilled a massive hole in this guitar. I never got a photo before I did it. Now it just looks like it turned up like that.
Put it back to normal.
I honestly feel like doing that.
Gluing it
Yeah, yeah. Oh, damn, I'll just refinish it.
Put groat in it.
Yeah. Pass the polyfiller. Yeah. But I think the internet's changed loads of stuff as well, and you need to keep on top of that. And it's fun, like I enjoy it. It's
That's cool.
I think even if I stopped touring tomorrow, I'd still want to fix guitars from my house because it's just something I enjoy doing. I like being around guitars, and I like seeing how they work and fixing stuff.
That's rad.
Yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Sweet.
All right, that was episode 26 of An Earful Podcast with our lovely, lovely guest, Scott Findlay. I thought it was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, really enjoyed that conversation.
Very fun.
I was very surprised he can't really play guitar.
Bridget Jones caught me out, mate.
Yeah, I'd say they were the top two moments that really caught me off guard.
That was a Jimmy Kerr laugh.
Mate,
That's the first time I've heard that from.
If you want to hear that laugh in person, we're going to be at Burn It Down Festival.
Amazing segue.
Get your tickets. Promo code An Earful Podcast. 20% off your ticket. It's not that much. You can buy one.
Have a damn good time. And if you're up to now, we've done 26 episodes of us chatting absolute beans with various people. Make sure you check out the past 25 episodes. Surely there'll be something else that you've enjoyed, hopefully.
And it's free to listen to.
It's free to listen to.
What else are you doing?
Spread the word. This is one of the first proper times we've all been sat together doing an intro this year so far.
Yes, it is.
This year, yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably a good time to point out that we've got a very good 2020 coming up with hopefully quite a few guests that you'll all enjoy.
And you'll know as well. We've done quite a few people you'll know, but even more people who you'll know. Don't worry about that.
Forget about those guests that you didn't know from
Yeah.
the past year.
You can
We've got
also-
even better
We've
ones.
got you sorted.
You can also request guests and tell the guests that you want on to come on our podcast.
And you can do that either via whatever social media you prefer. So Instagram, you can pester Matty and tell you that we want a certain guest. But when you're doing it, go onto Twitter, Instagram, or whatever else. Tag your favourite artist. Tag us in it so then they know who to speak to. And hopefully we'll get it sorted.
So yeah, to go through over those again, you'll be able to find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all under An Earful Podcast. So don't forget to go check all those out. And there's going to be more content coming soon on YouTube. So yeah, man.
So
Check
keep
it.
your eyes peeled. And otherwise than that, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye!
Bye!